Hello again and welcome to Crochet with Curio. In this video we're going to do a single coloured granny square. In our last video we showed you how to do this one, which is a two coloured simple granny square. You would think, being single coloured, that it would be easier than doing a two coloured granny square. Well, that's where it's a little bit different. On this granny square, every time we did a round we joined on with a new colour and then did the new round in that colour. With the single colour one, we have to stitch up into the right place. It can be a little bit complicated to know where to go. Also, some people find it difficult working out where the centre of the square is when it's all the same colour, so we'll show you some tips and tricks so you can get around that. For this project you're going to need a DK yarn in the colour of your choice, and I'm using a 4mm hook. Just like in the last video, and I recommend that you do watch the last video before you try this, we're going to start off with a slip knot. To put it on our hook and chain 6. And then we're going to slip stitch through the very first stitch in the chain to make a ring. And we're going to be working into that ring. So it's exactly the same as the last video, so we're going to chain 3 to make a false treble, and then do 2 further trebles into the ring. Now you'll remember that when we come to a corner, we chain 3. And the pattern is 3 trebles, chain 3 for the corner and 3 trebles. So we're making our corner, and we're going to put 3 more trebles into the central ring. So we've now got a corner and 2 sides, so we're back at another corner. So we're going to do another chain 3, and then just do the next side, it's another 3 trebles. So we're back again at a corner, so we chain 3, and to make our final side we're going to do another 3 trebles. And then to make our final corner we're going to chain 3, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of the false treble. And that makes our first part of the square. If you watch the last video you'll realise that this is where we change colour. We're not going to do that this time, so to get to the next round we're going to chain 3 to make a false treble. Now this is going to class as the last treble in this chain here, but we need to get across to this corner, so to do that we need to chain 1. So in effect you've done 4 chains. The first 3 chains represent a false treble, and the extra chain is the chaining train to get you to this corner. So we're going to do 3 trebles into this corner, and as with the last video we're at a corner now, so we're going to chain 3 and do 3 more trebles into that corner point. Now this is where people can sometimes get a little bit confused, because they've got to remember that that is our initial starting chain. And so we can remember this, what I like to do is just to hook a different coloured yarn through the centre, so we can immediately identify that that is our centre point. You can use a piece of yarn, or you could even use a stitch marker. and I'm just going to draw it through the back out of the way. So I can immediately see that that is the central ring, not that. So put the yarn back on our hook. We need to get over to the next corner, so I'm going to chain 1. We're back at the corner again, so it's 3 trebles. We're going to chain 3 to make the corner, and 3 more trebles back into that chain space. So to move over to the next corner, we're going to chain 1, and it's the same again. 3 trebles, chain 3, and 3 more trebles back into the same chain space. And we're just going to repeat that all the way along. So chain 1 to get over to the next space, 3 trebles, chain 3, and 3 trebles. Only this time we've got a false treble there already, so we're only going to do 2 trebles, and we're going to join at the top of the 3rd chain, not the 4th, the 3rd. So you can see the granny square starting to take shape now. Now in this one, because we're over a gap, we're going to chain 3 to make a false treble, and just put 2 more trebles in there. I'm going to chain 1 to get to the next chain space, which is a corner, so it's simply 3 trebles, chain 3, and 3 trebles. Now remember, the chain 3 makes the shape of the corner, such as we've got here. So 3 trebles back into the same chain space. And we chain 1 to get to the next middle chain space. As it's on a side, it's simply 3 trebles, and then we move on to the corner. Chain 1, and then a corner as normal, which is 3 trebles, chain 3, 3 trebles. So now we're back to the next part, which is a side part, so we're just going to chain 1 and 3 trebles in there. Now as you can see, without this little stitch marker here, it would be quite difficult to know whereabouts in the pattern we were, and it's easy to forget. This keeps it all in some sort of perspective for us. So we're going back to a corner again, so we're going to chain 1 to move over to the next chain space, 3 trebles, chain 3, 3 trebles. And then we're going to move over to the next chain space, which is a side, so we chain 1 and just simply put 3 trebles in there. And then we're back to the final corner, so we're going to chain 1, 3 trebles, chain 3, and 3 trebles back into that chain space. And then to get over to the next stitch, we're going to chain 1, and again we're going to slip stitch into the top of the false treble. So once again, to get to the top of the next row, we have to chain 3 to make a false treble. And again, this false treble is the last of the 3 in this chain space here. Now we need to get over to this one, so we're going to chain 1 as a bridging chain and carry on with the side space with 3 trebles. And we're going to chain 1 to get to the corner space, and as it's a corner we're going to do 3 trebles, chain 3, 3 trebles. And we're moving over to the next chain space, so we're going to just chain 1, and as it's a side we're going to just do 3 trebles into that space. And then we're going to move over to the next space, which is also a side, so it's just simply chain 1 and 3 trebles. And then we're back to the corner, so it's chain 1, 3 trebles, chain 3 and 3 trebles. Chain 1 to get to the next chain space, and continue that all the way around. So we're coming back towards the end again, and we're going to chain 1 to move over to this chain space. Before we put the 3 trebles into this chain space, we must remember that that is a false treble that belongs to that chain space, so we're only going to put 2 in. We're going to slip stitch into the top of the false treble, which is the 3rd chain from the bottom. Now we could carry on chaining up 3 to make a false treble, and as it's over this chain space we would only put another 2 trebles in, and you can continue along like that, remembering every alternate one has a chain 4 because you've got a false treble and a chain to get you over to the next chain space. But on this one I'm going to fasten off, and not forgetting to take out the stitch marker. The beauty of this one is there are only 2 ends to weave in, so if like me you're not a fan of weaving in, it makes life a lot simpler. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe.